Now that we understand how the restore function works, let's go ahead and change the restore in here, remove the print statements, and send the packet that we created. So we're just going to do skp.send, and we'll send our packet. I will also add one more argument to this, which is called count, and I'm gonna set this to 4. So we actually send this packet 4 times just to make sure that the target machine will receive it and correct its ARP table. I will also set the verbose to false so that it doesn't show me any information when it sends this packet. Something similar to what I was doing here. And then I'll print this statement in here. So this function is done, so I'm going to minimize it. And I'm going to minimize this as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to call the restore from our except block. So what happens when we reach this, as I explained before, when we use a try statement, it'll execute the block of code that we have in the try. This will run the ARP spoofer, it'll spoof the targets, putting us in the middle of the connection. Then it's gonna expect the user to interrupt this using Control-C. If the user enters Control-C, we're gonna print detected Control-C. And then we are going to fix the ARP tables, so we're gonna call the restore function. Now instead of saying quitting in here, I'm actually gonna say resetting ARP tables, please wait. And then we have our function here, which will reset the device at 10.027 with the correct values for the IP that is at 10.021, which is the router. Now we are using way too many variables as constants in here. So I'm just gonna do this quickly, and I'm gonna define 2 variables in here. One of them we will call target IP, and this is gonna be the IP of the Windows machine, as you know. And the next one is gonna be the gateway IP, and this is gonna be the IP of the router. Now you can use any of the ways that I showed you before to get this from the user, using the input function or using the arguments. For now we're keeping this simple and we're setting it in the code. So we're just gonna modify this, we're gonna change this with the target IP here. And this will be the gateway IP. Same here. But this time the gateway is gonna be here because we're spoofing the gateway, telling it that we are the target. And when we want to restore this, we're actually gonna have to do the restore twice as well. So first of all, we're gonna restore the ARP tables of the target, giving it the correct values for the gateway. And we'll have to do this one more time, giving the gateway the correct MAC address of the target. And this is it. So basically what I did right now is whenever the user hits Control-C, the following block of code is going to be executed. The first call to the restore function will give the target the right MAC address of the router, and the second time we're going to give the gateway the correct MAC address of the target. So what we're doing is we're basically sending this message right here and this message right here, fixing the ARP tables of both clients. And this will bring my network back to the default settings, and it's gonna look like this, so that the victim and the router will be directly communicating with each other. So let's go and test this. I'm gonna save this, go down here, clear the screen, and run my code. Now this is ARP spoofing my target. If we go to the Windows machine, clear this, and run an ARP-A, and as expected, the router's MAC address now is associated with the MAC address of the Kali machine. So now my Kali machine is in the middle of the connection. If we go back, press Ctrl-C, we're going to get a nice print statement telling us that the ARP tables are going to be reset to the way they were, and then the program will quit. But if we come here run ARPA, you will see that the MAC address associated with the router is the actual router's MAC address. So everything has been restored back to the default, to the right way that it should be, and now the router and the target are directly communicating with each other. This way our program is more complete, and it actually works like the proper ARP spoofing programs like ItterCap, ARP spoof, man in the middle F, and so on.